Good morning. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage on your side, your wisdom guided oracle, and we're having coffee. It's another mug I got in Ireland. Now, I'm not the typical, isn't it cute? A little unusual, which is what caught my eye, and robin's egg blue, one of my favorite colors. I'm not your typical souvenir buyer. I got this at a car boot sale. Got a couple of tops at and other mugs at charity shops, otherwise known here in the US as thrift stores. I am a thrift store junkie, but the really cool aspect of both of those for me, a traveler like I am, which yes, I'm going to leave it at that. Uh, I was about to say something that was going to negate that desire. I haven't traveled a whole lot. And so, as I say, for me as a traveler, felt a little disingenuous. But the truth is I have traveled. What I want, doesn't matter where I go, is to know how people, everyday people live. And let me tell you, thrift stores and something like a car boot sale, a flea market, we would call it here, is the perfect way to meet real people, to visit, to explore. And so there were so many lovely, wonderful benefits about this trip I had and going to the places where the everyday people live. But this just jumped out at me. And so 50 pence, which is about 75 cents, give or take. So fly your own flag, mind your own business. You do you. Very similar themes. Some ways of saying it are less harsh than others. But the truth is, this fly your own flag. I have some lovely, lovely, very far left friends. And what I get from them in their messaging all the time is angst, powerlessness, fear, and all of those disempowering energies. Now, they're lovely souls, compassionate souls. But what we really want to understand from this fly your own flag message is quit letting yourself be manipulated by the media into this overextended compassion, meaning you really want to be compassionate to you, because that's when you actually change the world. Your angst, fear, sadness, heart-wrenching grief for all that you hear that is going on, for all that is occurring in this world, does not help them, doesn't change anything. The one thing you can do is change you. You can shift your energy. And if you are constantly reiterating, an example, I have an online friend who I've visited with by voice a few times. Oh my God, all she reports and focused on and brings through was every awful thing that was going on and why her life that was seemingly imploding, and she couldn't understand why. And it's like, as energetic beings, we continually bring to us whatever energy we're continually putting out. So if you keep putting out this hello Dorothy. Oh, okay, Dorothy, so sorry. I just sent you an email back and I knew your name was familiar, but I couldn't figure it out. So good morning, Valerie. Good morning, Kim. You have them. Yep. I love going to, I love the thrill of the deal for thrift stores and car boot sales or flea markets. Good morning, Jeannie. And good morning, Dorothy. So the overarching message is from Caroline Mace, and she is very direct forward, no namby-pamby. She's not going to pet you and go, I'm so sad for you. She's going to go, pull up your big girl panties and get to work on yourself. Do what you can do. So today's lesson, live in the moment. And this is true for you. This is, what is your moment? What is it that you are doing about you, for you, to you? Because if you're focusing on everything that has happened to you, and granted, I'm not discounting the fact that some really rough stuff happens out there, But most of the people that I see whining, crying, expounding on all the ills of the world, they didn't have crappy stuff happen. We all have stuff happen that is for our learning opportunities. When we spit in we can spit when we sit and spin in the victimology, in the woe is me and woe is me about this world. This world is terrible and all the people, look at what's going on and this is who's to blame and this is who's to blame. There is zero power in that. There's zero healing for the world in that. And there is zero impetus to move forward. Live in the moment. Okay, this very moment, gratitude is a very powerful tool here. What can you be grateful for? Sometimes it's rough. Sometimes it is. I can see, hear, speak. My mouth works. I can dress myself. I can get up and out of this chair myself. I can walk across the room, maybe with a cane. Maybe I'm in pain. But these are the things. This is how you shift your focus. Today's lesson. On this day, strive to live in the moment. Again, this is Caroline Mace. This is the healing cards. Only speak about positive things in your life and avoid bringing up the past, especially negative memories or situations. Your goal? To experience how difficult it is to live in the present. Healing is rapidly enhanced when you focused in the now. You can be that healing aspect for yourself if you quit whining about what happened and just keep cutting cords to the fear of the future. That's honestly one of my biggest chores, for lack of a better word, is to keep myself out of fear about the future. I'm not a worrier. Didn't ever worry about when my kids left my house. I knew they were going to be fine. For whatever reason, that was something I did know. But I did worry about the future, trying to manipulate everything so that my family was safe. We had enough. Mini prepper, uh, that expectation of doom in the future. So at one point, I can't remember what I said to my husband. He said, "Well, what if shit hits the fan?" I went, "I can't live that way. It is fearful living, and I choose differently." Those two words, I choose. What are you choosing? Now, the other cards that came up, there were 5, which is the number of change. So the first one is from the ancient stone, potency, deep connection, treasure. There is a deep connection that you want to hold. I'm going to get this within you to spirit, to your spirit self. You didn't come here by accident this lifetime. You came to learn and grow and serve in this big lifetime when, good morning, Moon and Cindy and Jeannie. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all presence here. Deep connection and treasure. You are the treasure. You came in this lifetime to be that. And honestly, those of you who've had some of the biggest heavy loads, lots of stuff happening, you are the brightest treasure. But you have to let go of all the residue that is keeping that from shining. So that means you actively work spiritually, connect. I'm open, I'm willing, I'm ready, guide me. So you can be shown, number one, how you're propagating what you don't want any more of, and be shown and given tools, inklings, understandings of how to begin the self-healing process. So a secret chamber that is within you, that is go deep and pull out the things that are good within your life and be willing to be shown how you're propagating more of what you don't. Sing your own song. That is, fly your own flag. Quit being manipulated by media and your activism to put all out there in the field more of the shit you don't want. I mean, that's very blunt and that's very not compassionate, because here's the truth. Me being compassionate about your powerlessness does not serve you in any way, shape, or form. Nor does your overamped compassion, grief, and sadness being propagated more and more out into the world nor does that help the world. But you can change the world by shifting your focus. What are you choosing in your life? What, if all was possible, and it is, what would you create this world to look like? This is where we want our focus. Yes, Valerie, false evidence appearing to be real. That's what fear is. So we intentionally must move into the power that we have to shift ourselves. And that is truly where we shift the world. You do you, you worry about you, you leave the rest alone. Shed pure love and joy, because that's another tool to raise your vibration, to bring you out of this gloom, doom, poor me, fear. The world is going to hell in a handbasket. All of these things that do not propagate less of what you don't want. It all propagates more of what you don't want. So shift your focus. Yep, Dorothy, that's absolutely it. Keep pressing the what if and I choose buttons and open, willing, ready, guide me. That's a way of standing in your divine energetic power. And this weightiness that has dropped on you begins to leave, but it is always by choice. The next card that came up is soul agreement, soul mission, life purpose. You came for a purpose here. Generally, it is in your passion, the thing that you would love to do and see in this world. And it is the mission that you wanted to carry out. Light workers, anybody that would listen to something like this is a light worker. We are all at different stages of our own internal evolution and our own soul work here. So passing judgment is, number one, very bad energy. Let's put it that way. You don't want more of that. But when you practice the pure love and joy tool and place it into the world, you can shed pure love and joy on any of the circumstances that cause you to be sad. The losses people are experiencing in their personal life, whether it's family member, health, all of that. You can shed pure love and joy on that. But truly, to manage your own energy, all you have to do is shed it on everything you lay your eyes on: the wall, the window, the ceiling, the lamp, the pictures, the carpet, because it is the act of drawing the love in. And remember, you want to get to that heart expansive love, whether it's remembering an incredible time of love when you were in love with somebody and all how lovely that feels, whether it was holding a child, a beloved pet, getting out into nature. At one point, I thought all my nature walking through wood adventures were open, and I got angry for one, and I said, and Elizabeth, I invite you to adopt this mantra: fuck that shit. That is not my truth. Because, Dorothy is dealing with some real heavy physical problems right now, as I was at the time. Different, but I thought I would never be able to get out in the woods and walk and enjoy that thing that fuels my soul. And 9 months later, 11 months later, I did a 7-day backpacking trip. Was it just up the mountain? No, it was 5 minutes walking, 1 minute, put my foot up on a rock, let my hip rest. But I was able to, because I chose with emotion. That is not my truth. This is what I choose. That is how you change the world. Your choice every day to support yourself, to love yourself, to bring yourself into a higher vibration on a regular basis. Because here is the truth. Then that is what you are sharing in the world. Pollyanna is a superhero. She is the one that transmutes all the negative energy. And I've been Pollyanna most of my life. Now, I went through a thing in June where I had a great deal of resentment, absolutely, about having to transmute the energies of others my entire life in order to find myself in some inner equilibrium and comfort. But that was and is a superpower. It was just the load that I resented. And it turned out, as I delved further into that energy, it was encapsulated in the energy of slave. And so I dissolved that and in a metal ball of slave energy. And so I dripped on it the acid of love, peace, joy, and empowerment, dissolving the slave energy and releasing the huge resentment that was stuck in my body. And so it is imperative that we do ourselves, we do our own work. Radiate gratitude. That is the other very powerful tool we have to use to shift our energy. And again, thank you, Kim. Um, it is a very powerful tool that we have to do the work in the world that we came to do. Gratitude for the very tiny things. And right now, Dorothy, I would ask that you all reach out and send Dorothy some empowered love. She is dealing with some very intense physical circumstances, physically in her body, in her living situation. Hello, Christina. And so I invite you to send her some love and allow her to absorb and understand her next best step and how she can begin really removing these energies that have just dropped on her. And so, radiate gratitude, Dorothy, for the things you do have. Remember, it is you have a roof over your head. You have something you can watch this broadcast on. Sometimes it is the little things. I am seeing, Julia, yours just came up. That's the only one I've seen so far from YouTube. But I've noticed they're coming up like I'm at minute 17 and it looks as though you commented at minute 8. And so that's the kind of lag for these. So focusing on what we desire, focusing on what is good, right, what we do have in the world. Woe is me, done. Poor me, done. It is time to stand in our power. And the last card, obstacle, find another road, flexibility, change. That is in our power, looking for a different way to deal with what it is that is confronting us on a regular basis. We just finished an incredibly powerful full moon with the lunar eclipse, and that brought in a lot of shadows. I had not realized the volume of fear I was still living in, and it was brought up to me in a very non-fearful situation that was producing a great deal of fear in me. So it was a signal that this is still in my field. And choosing, we are still in that full moon energy, and a full moon with a lunar eclipse, that energy works on us for 6 months. We are going to have another powerful solar eclipse on the 21st, 22nd, depending on where we're at in the world. And we really can use these to be in our power when the crap comes up, those old ways of thinking, the things that have weighted us down, and we really go, oh, you're kidding me again, I'm still carrying this. What is this here for? How can I grow with it, let it go, and move forward? Well, during the full moons, it is that time of shadow shining light on, going, oh, this is still in your field. You can choose to let go of it, or you can choose to grow it. It's really up to you. And so this is the empowered message of fly your own flag. Quit being manipulated by all aspects of the media, regardless of which side you listen to. They are both lying to you, they are both manipulating you, and their effort is to keep you in control. Because when we are in fear, and fear is easy to control, so they're never going to tell you how wonderfully empowered this world is, the beautiful things people are doing to help one another. They're only going to tell you all the awful things that are going on. Quit listening. Read in an email 1440. That gives you the headlines. That is it. A little blurb about it, not someone's opinion. We're done. You don't need someone else's opinion. It is time to listen to your own. Yeah. Yes, that yesterday moon was scary, Dorothy, because fear is in your field. For others, it was heavily weighted in lovelessness. For others, it was heavily weighted in the slave energy, in no boundary energy, in the meanness of others energy, depending, what has been our truth, what has been our focus. It is time now for you to stand in your power, choose you, letting go of other people that you have been under the thumb of. Anybody that ever said, shame on you, let them go. Fuck them. There's no shame that should be carried by any of us. But it is a huge, huge energy that many of us have come in and has been propagated on us. So, yes, Valerie, that's absolutely your Savior walks on water. The Christ consciousness is a very empowered consciousness. He said, you see these things I do, you can do this and more. He wanted us to stand in our divine energetic power. This does not negate the idea of the Christian message at all. It empowers us to be all of what we are, using our energy in our own lives and then shedding it out into the world because we are sharing energy constantly. So, pretty direct, pretty powerful message from the guides, angels, companions that I work with. yeah, Valerie, F that shit. Thank you so much for joining me. I so enjoy doing this Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I really appreciate you tuning in because it makes it so much more fun to see people here with me. But please share this, subscribe. My YouTube channel, I put the link in the announcement about this. You know what? It's called at Victoria Savage 333, and there are spaces between Victoria and Savage and 333. You've got to put at, and then you may or may not find it, but I did put the link in my announcement, and I will put the link in comments here. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Victoria Savage, Nurse Savage, on your side, your wisdom guided oracle.